Hello, John Beattie. John Beattie here. Still trying to get the controls sorted out, and then I can give you a proper hello. Hello, 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 hello. Program seems to be taking so far. Today is Friday, March 21st. I practiced before I get on air. Dinosaur news. Thank God it's Friday. Hey, I enjoy bringing these videos to you, and I'm getting some favorable responses, which just keeps everything going straight ahead and straight up. Having said that, today's video is really hard for me to do. Very tricky stuff for yours truly. The theme of these shows, of course, in Dinosaur News is that our British race, our British roots, white people in general are being outbred, our white youngsters are mixing with other races, losing themselves to our race, etc. We all know the drill. It's all down pat. So opposing this genocide against our peoples have sprung up many great groups, and young, old, middle, all working together, and the whole week is being spent praising Kyle Hunt and the White March, which is just great, and it did the job, and this week's videos tell the whole story. Newton's law: for everything happens one way, there's an opposite and equal reaction. The race mixers, the multi-cult gang, are not going to take the March 15th successful day, the follow-up to the day itself. The follow-up was even greater success. So the multi-cult, the mobs, are not going to take it lying down. And they're going to use their favorite smear tactic. They're going to bring in old white groups, like they did with a group outside of Cincinnati. They put a Klan couple in Klan outfits, but it didn't deter the public. The public could see that the other 12 people there were all clean-cut young fellows and some girls, etc. So it didn't have the sabotage effect that whoever sent the Klan people to that get-together were hoping for. If you are an offshoot branch of some organization, then do your own thing. Don't horn in on someone else's baseball game. We're fighting for our white race, and as I say in these shows many times, there are various groups on the shelf. So choose your group, stick with your group, but don't take your group, set yourselves up in front of another group's activity. It's just not the gentleman's way to do things, is it now? Now, the trickiest part. I hope I don't forget. I hope I don't regret these words. There's one guy went on a radio show this week, and in Canada, as you know, I've stressed there was nothing doing in Canada except you're speaking up, and to do with the White Day, and there wasn't anything to do with the White Day. One guy out west tried to stand in front of a monument to the war with a cheap poster thrown practically on the ground, pretending that there were more people, but the camera didn't get them. I mean, as I said, I think on the video the other day, if we start lying, then we're just as bad as those promoting multi-cult. Okay, so let's stick to the facts. So why would I bring it up at all? Well, it now turns out the same fellow referred to leafleting in Kingston, Ontario. What he neglected to say, and yet he knew fully, so that in itself is a lie by omission, is the fact that there were about a dozen skinhead types giving the full Nazi salute down at the shoreline in Kingston, Ontario. Yes, on March 15th. Had the news media got a hold of that picture, or those photos, well, they tried to hurt the Cincinnati turnout with two Klan members, a man and a woman. Imagine what they would have done with a picture of about a dozen skinheads giving the full Nazi Hitler salute. And why I said this is awkward for me to even bring up. Look, I understand the skinhead frustrations, the young fellows, working class, working stiffs, not recognized by the establishment, of course not, especially with the Hitler cult stuff. But back to my point. Especially maybe a couple of you are watching this right now. I understand your frustrations. We've got to fight for our white race. We need men with guts, muscles, brawn, which is what you fellows are, you young fellows. Well, some of you aren't totally that young anymore. But it's the wrong symbolism. See, Canada still has, half of Canada is still a British stock in the phone books. It said in a video, maybe a few weeks ago, 20, 30, 40 years ago, everyone from Wise family, Wise, Welsh, Irish, Scottish, English, Wise, Wales, Scottish, Wales, Irish, Scottish, English, wise people. Well, everyone from Wise British family back then had someone who suffered in the Second World War because the bombs were dropped. Bombs were not dropped in America. And, well, you know, I'm not slurring German Americans. I'm just saying you were proud of your heritage and you saw your country coming out of the ashes of the First World War. So, of course, there was the German-American Bund and so on. Bombs did not drop on German homes, German-American homes. German-American homes, yeah, there were plenty dropped in German homes in the war. But German-Americans did not have bombs dropping on their homes. Well, British Canadians, if not directly themselves, coming from Britain with such an ethnic identity in Canada, I mean, we still got the Queen, the constitutional monarch, the Governor General, the whole bit. There were close relatives. Everyone lost a family, lost someone. And bombs were dropped heavily in Coventry, and war is hell, bombs dropped everywhere, yes. But I'm just trying to explain to you young fellows what it means. So my generation heard it from our grandparents, and the Legion halls over beer, they still talk about it. Yes, Second World War, believe it or not. It's there. So you're never going to shake that out of Canada. And when anyone, the Legion types, the fringes of the establishment, when they witness you young fellows giving the Hitler salute, what do you think they're supposed to think? It's foreign to Canada. I know, the multi-cult mob are foreign to Canada too. You're young white guys, your heart's in the right place. You got the wrong symbolism and you got the wrong hero. And you hurt the white man's cause by bringing that stuff up. I know you don't want to hurt the white man's cause. So think of a way you can keep your outfits, still be tough and rough. And I'm proud to see rough and tough white young guys. We need you desperately. However, that salute has got to go. Your hero, how about changing heroes? It's up to you. But we can't associate with the Hitler cult. It's just political suicide. It's plain stupid. And the picture's circulating. Thank God the news media didn't pick it up. If it came out now in the general news media, well, the story is slowed down. So I don't think it's going to hit the general news media. But I saw it. The anti-racist gang publicized it. Just when things were looking so good, that white day was so terrific. But the warning cloud is out there. I always ask for opinions from our blind list. I got this in today, as a matter of fact, after I told the blind list about the cult figures doing the stiff arm salute, Kingston, Ontario. Grrr, quote. I see what you mean, John. What to do about radicalism showing up? What is the dictionary definition of a so-called Nazi, fascist? That is not us. What is a skinhead? Take your hat off, John, and show them you have a few grays left. You have no intention of shaving it off to look like one of them. Yeah, there's a few. There's a few. I guess I had to do that to prove I'm not one of the gang. Okay. Where's your leather jacket and bike, John? I don't have one myself. I know in the future we could use the services of some rough guys to protect us. We as spokespeople for the white man's cause. But they should really lay low for now and come across as gentlemen. I'm not so much concerned about laying low. Just drop the Hitler cult stuff. If you're going to do it privately in your own homes, but don't infringe on another group's activities. To put it in real bold terms, the vagabonds don't try and horn in on Hell's Angels activities and vice versa. Well, I'm not calling us a bunch of biker gangs. I'm just trying to talk plain, rough language so that you young fellows get my point. And it really is not worthy to take another group's efforts and push your chosen shelf approach to fight for our white cause. It's just not worthy of you to horn in on another group's activity. Do your own thing your own way, fine and dandy, but don't horn in on someone else's. And the guy that spoke on the radio show this week saying there were just leaflets, he neglected to point out that you were in full skinhead uniform and Hitler salutes the works, which is disgraceful of that person who spoke out. Quoting our good coach here, one of our best actually, this is probably our best coach. Got to think of a way to educate these idiots. And again, I'm squirming here. I'm sitting on the fence. I'm not calling you lads idiots. I know why you're upset and you don't feel that you're doing harm, but you are when you horn in on someone else's activity. Is that the only white culture they are able to put on display for the world to judge? Where are their girlfriends in this fight? I see some in the photos are wearing the green type jackets the British do. These guys need to come forward and explain themselves and their mission more clearly. Do they know about Britain? Are they trying to do the same thing here? The use of those words, of course, racism, Nutzi, etc., are the traditional words used by the media to smear people like us. So I'm asking you young lads, why make their job easier? We have to let the media know we're onto them. Oh boy, that seems to be my job, and you know me. There's got to be a way around this. Maybe an official mission statement to the bicentennial Sir John Alexander Committee in Kingston is in order to get the record straight before infiltrators get in to smear the cause. And I hesitate. I wouldn't call you young guys infiltrators at all. Just drop the salute, please, and try and switch heroes. Or keep your hero in your home. But in public, we've all had to learn the hard way. Still think an interesting rundown of the genealogy behind Welsh, Irish, Scottish, English surnames. A check is in order to wake people up to their heritage and just who settled the United States and Canada in the first place and how. The why comes later, as I guess that is the job of the Kingston historians further down the road. Folks are not ready for why yet. I would expect this sort of thing putting bumps on the road, John. We just have to think of good damage control measures. Thank you for that, key member of our blind list council. Well, that was hard for me to say. It's really hard to get young people enthused. And there's a group of lads, obviously friends with each other, and they got themselves organized. But I think you get the message. The League of the South is to be admired because they make it clear no one's going to be allowed anywhere near our demonstrations in order to take credit for our hard work and our demonstrations. Sure, we're all white people together, but we're all doing it differently, aren't we? Different groups on the white shelf to choose from. Choose one that suits your personality, but don't infringe on the other guys. The World War II crap hurts white growth. You're never going to take the memory of the bombs out of British Canadians or their descendants, okay? Their grandchildren heard about it from the grandparents. So it looks like starting next week we're going to stay glued to our British People's League roots as we started out. I started out with a video before we were going daily. Months ago, I gave the story as to how I tried the all-encompassing approach. Never works. Each sub-tribe within the white race has its own hero. Sir Winston Churchill is the British Canadian hero and the British hero amongst white people. Those who try the Hitler stuff with British people are going to always remain a cult, always remain on the fringes. It might give you a thrill, might give you some adrenaline excitement, but you're not going to win over the people, the working people. The working East Enders in London, England, suffered the most from the bombs. The poor working people. Oh, well, somebody else started the war. That's not the point. When bombs are dropping from the sky, killing your children, killing your relatives, you don't go into politics of who started the war, how the war started. You're saying, those bastards just killed my family. Period. End of story. Okay, a side note, aside from that, I better hurry up and get that book finished. Canada's Secret Civil War in 1978, too, with a question mark. Because it was relating to Quebec trying to separate back in Trudeau Sr.'s years. Now we've got a complete duplicate and I haven't even got the damn book finished. The whole thing's going to go a rerun. We got now another separatist party may come to power in Quebec, and Trudeau's son will stand up for the Federalists, or pretend he does, whatever. Going to be a complete rerun. So keep your eye on that. And yes, I know the idealism of our young white people. Oh, brothers' wars, we shouldn't fight each other. Oh, yes, yeah. Well, dream on, dream on. The sub-tribes are always going to be fighting. Men are born with testicles, and maybe they shouldn't be. That would make the gay crowd happy, wouldn't it? Well, men have testicles. Men have always fought. Men will always continue to fight to preserve their tribe's way of life. That's the way it is. I hope you give some serious thought to this talk today. Thanks for tuning in this week. We'll be back at you on Monday, March the 24th. I really hope you'll think about what I've had to say. Talk to you next week. Bye for now.